A viewer asked, "How did you make your world map look so realistic?" It's simple. I contracted out to the world builders of Magrathea. Slarty Bartfast was particularly proud of the fjords of eastern Korstrad.
Actually, I don't have any brilliant observations here. Making continents and terrain features look realistic is mainly about trying to make them resemble something in the real world, but different enough that people don't instantly think, oh, it's just Australia turned upside down. The specific question was about the continents of my world map and how they look realistic, like some land masses broke away from other land masses. And that's really all there is to it. I'm no geologist. I just started by drawing some shapes, then in a few places I made shapes that looked a little bit like they were carved out of those first shapes. The rest is mainly roughing up the coastlines until you are happy with the result. The important things are, don't make them fit too exactly, unless the land masses are very close together and the break was very recent. And don't make everything seem to fit together like a big puzzle. You want a few bits that look like they probably fit together a long time ago, and a lot of parts that are just doing their own thing, and hopefully the viewer will subconsciously see that all as making sense, because that's kind of how Earth's continents are. It's not too hard to make reasonable mountain ranges either. First, lay down a few mountains however the hell you want. For example, I wanted Uruk bordered on the northwest, and a bowl-like range where the dwarves arose. Just try to avoid making any shapes that are too neat to order. Sorry, Token, but Mordor? Really? Morgoth must really plan ahead. Anyway, next, look at what you have, and draw a couple rough lines through some of your mountains, extending those lines out from them. Then place a smattering of peaks along that path. This makes it look like a natural fault line, a meeting of continental plates. There can be gaps of any size along the line. It doesn't have to be all mountains, but having even a couple of peaks further along, which may or may not be an extension of the same range, helps make it feel realistic. And of course you should scatter around a few random mountains elsewhere which aren't part of any range. For extra bonus, follow your mountain range out to sea a ways and make an island or chain of islands there, giving the impression that the geological border extends down under the ocean where undersea volcanoes have pushed up some land. Essentially, the main principle of making continents and mountains, and a lot of other things, feel realistic is to find a balance where some parts look like they make sense, and some parts don't. They just look random. That wasn't much of a guide, but I think if you keep those ideas in mind while working on your own map, it should definitely help you get some results you can be proud of. The other thing to remember is, try to avoid spending too much time adding detail to the map. Whether you're writing a novel or GMing a role-playing game, I find it's usually better to leave space for adding relevant details when you get there, rather than spending hours and hours on bits which may only generate a sentence at most in the final work. Do you have a question about running an RPG campaign or anything else? I'm not really an expert, but if people keep asking, I may just take a stab at it. And check out the drama, humor, and ongoing illustrated story of Tales from My D&D Campaign.
If you found that useful or entertaining, or if you enjoy cookies, hit the like button.